So Toronto declares a food insecurity emergency with 1 in 10 people in Toronto using food banks. Also, 27 cases of scurvy in the province where I live, and doctors told to watch out for scurvy all across Canada. I'm going to try to be not insensitive on this topic, at the same time speak relatively freely and rip my government and the people in my country a new hole. So all of this is mainstream news. This is your CBC in Canada. This is Yahoo Finance. This is all across mainstream media. Toronto declares food insecurity and emergency. More than 1 in 10 Torontarians face hunger as crisis grows beyond capacity. In a historic move, Toronto City Council has declared food insecurity and emergency as the city faces the rising demand for food assistance. The problem is we need more socialism and less capitalism. So the government has to steal money from the few people left that produce, or steal money from the collective and create higher inflation. That's the solution to this, right? Food banks in Toronto saw 3.49 million visits in 2024, a staggering increase from under a million visits pre-pandemic in 2019. Nothing to do specifically with COVID other than the inflation and the social assistance that they printed a whole bunch of money. Infrastructure investments, immediate funding to help build a safe, efficient warehouse that can handle the growing demand for food assistance. Instead of solving the actual problem, we need to make food banks bigger is what we have to do to solve this. Mayor Olivia Chow has declared food insecurity and emergency in the city of Toronto. The motion urges federal and provincial governments to enhance income support programs such as employment insurance, old age security, Toronto Works, Ontario Disability Support Program, and the Canada Disability Benefit, including indexing them to inflation. Now, all of the massive amount of social assistance programs in Canada, absolute massive amounts, where do they come from? Well, in a good economy, you had like capitalism and free market businesses and things that produced a lot of value and then paid taxes to the government. So the government steals money from productive people. And then with that productive money, you can have socialism programs like all of the former mentioned that I just talked about. Unfortunately, that doesn't work anymore because Canada is a dumpster fire. So it's not paid with taxpayer money, it's paid with inflation. So printed money. So the government prints money out of thin air. That raises the prices of everything, including food, to make food insecurity worse. So of course, the politicians and governments answer, and probably most people in Canada, their thing is, we need more money for all of the social programs and index them to inflation. So that's right. Let's print money, which is inflation, to give it to people because of the cost of living, which creates a higher cost of living. So we got to print more money to give it to the people, which is going to increase inflation, which is going to increase the prices and create more insecurity. And then we need to increase the socialism. Of course, people like me know that this is coming, and I've done everything in my power to try to fix this, but it's whatever. It is what it is now. Invest in building and maintaining deeply affordable housing. Okay, government doesn't build any housing whatsoever. Government gets in the way of real estate developers. So one of the highest costs of building anything in Canada is government. Now, as a former builder, what I would like to do is provide the best house that I can to people for the cheapest price. What gets in the way of that? Government and government regulations and bureaucracy. So again, government doesn't build housing. Government gets in the way of people that build houses. Almost 1 in 4 Ontario Food Bank clients are children or youth ages 18 and under. With municipal and federal funding in place, we expect these numbers to improve, but continue to call the province and government to match Toronto's funding commitments so that school meals can be truly made universal. With all levels of government united, we can ensure that no child is left behind. So again, the solution to inflation and inflating food prices that the government created by printing a bunch of money is to print a bunch more money and create a bunch more inflation, and we can solve child hunger. I feel like I'm living in a World Vision commercial. Do you remember those? You know, for only $1 a day, you could help and donate to Starving children in Africa. Well, this is Canada. 1 in 4 children visiting food banks out of the people that visit food banks. A more than 25% increase compared to the year prior, and 4.5 more times than pre-pandemic. Wow, that's a huge 450% increase from pre-pandemic. Daily Bread's food purchasing budget has gone from $1.5 million pre-pandemic to an allocated budget of $29 million this fiscal year. This is an up-to-date article, literally today, end of January 2025. Alrighty. 27 cases of scurvy in a northern Saskatchewan community. This is a CBC article. The average person that watches television gets to see what's going on, right?
The resurgence of scurvy in Canada is raising concerns of broader issues related to growing food insecurity and the rise in cost of groceries. The disease making an unexpected comeback in modern times.
The symptoms of scurvy, which can occur if a person doesn't get enough foods with vitamin C like fruits and vegetables, include fatigue and joint pain, which can easily be misdiagnosed. More severe signs include bleeding gums, loose teeth, and wounds that are slow to heal. So scurvy was an kind of ancient disease, on a long voyage on a ship. People didn't get enough vitamin C and their teeth would start falling out. But in Canada, doctors across Canada are told to watch out for scurvy. Concerns about grocery prices and access to fresh food as income inequality worsens. 27 cases of low or undetectable levels of vitamin C. So your best source to get vitamin C is fruits and vegetables, but they also actually give you some good advice in this. So in Saskatchewan, where it's winter outside all the time and we can't grow citrus fruits and things, some of the best things you can do is, well, number one, eat your fruits and vegetables. To help ward off scurvy, you can eat rose hips and Labrador tea, as well as eating animal organs like heart, liver, and kidneys of some animals. Those are very rich in everything, including vitamin C. So that's good advice, actually. Canadian doctors warn to be on the lookout for scurvy. 1 in 4 parents say they cut back on their own food consumption to feed their kids. When people are struggling financially, they tend to cut fruits and vegetables first because they are relatively expensive. And not only are food costs higher, but the foods themselves may not even be available at all. National Food Banks Canada said more than 2 million people visited food banks in March. This is of 2024, breaking the previous records. Yeah, if there's a medal for most collapsing country, I don't know what other ones are like, but Canada takes the cake. One of my favorite simple definitions of what is capitalism and socialism is when there's bread lines and you line up waiting for your bread. And capitalism is when the bread is abundantly available and it waits for you. Now, I want you to tell me what system you think Canada is under. Okay? Now, we have aspects of both, obviously. There's some capitalism and some socialism. Now, capitalism works very, very good on its own, and it rises all boats. And if you have socialism, pure socialism without any capitalism, then you have super high inflation and bread lines and things like that. So you need a certain amount of capitalism if you want the socialism, and socialism is winning in places like Canada. Now, there's a few other ways that the government helped, and again, I'm trying not to be insensitive or anything, but I want to tell you some of the things that I've done over the past 10 years of exactly what I thought was going to happened. Super high inflation, food insecurity, people really struggling. I mean, when you vote a certain way, this is what happens. I guess, first of all, so all the things I tried to do. Last time I voted, I've never voted for the Liberal Party or any left-leaning party. I try to stay right. Now, it's not even worth my time to vote anymore. This country's toast. But I took pictures of myself voting. Now, I remember the first time I saw an NDP or a Liberal person in Canada, a politician, that posted a picture on their social media of them voting. Now, I go to vote, and then the old biddy there at the voting booth said, "Oh, you can't have cameras in here." It's okay, I just saw the socialist politician take a picture, so there's no difference for me, so I'm taking a picture. And then I just did it. But here's a picture of me voting. Here's Dean. Go out and vote. It's very bad if we get these particular people in power, right? Another thing I did, just for fun, I bought an old manure spreader and I painted it. I had some red and white paint. I'm like, this is going to be hilarious. But I painted it the Liberal colors and I put the Liberal on the side of it and I called it the Liberal Campaign Wagon. And what I did, I posted a Kijiji ad. That's like our marketplace up in Canada, used marketplace. A hilarious ad, the Liberal Campaign Wagon for sale. And just actually it got so popular, the local news read it over and over again. John Gormley is kind of in Saskatchewan. He was our more conservative-ish or news talk radio host, but it was funny. You know, I tried all that. I tried to tell all people I knew. I tried to share things on Facebook, and, you know, my account gets banned and flagged, of course, on Facebook, and it is what it is. So the last 10 years, I literally bought bare land and started a homestead from scratch and trying to look after my own food security, right? And my community's local food security. I also started a business. I'm not pitching my product, but I just want to tell you what I did. Pure fruit smoothie. This was our original one, and we changed it to this one. But this one was a pound of fruit, freeze-dried and powdered. We reduced them to half a pound. The price is getting high, and this was honestly too big for most people to eat. They last 25 years and have all the nutrition is fresh. So our new smoothie has the extended nutrition charts. I'm going to talk about something about that. Something funny the government did too. But 100% of your vitamin C. You know, the green one has a lot more nutrition, but or in other ways, or each one kind of does their own thing. I did 3 so you don't get sick of them, but 88% of your vitamin C. So the minimum a person should eat, if this is your only vitamin C source, is 1 smoothie per day per person. Our original smoothies, we had to follow the government's rules, and they still have them in place. Our new smoothies, we did the extended nutrition chart, but in government's infinite wisdom, now we have scurvy prevalent all across Canada, and food insecurity is like literally an emergency. They took vitamin C and vitamin A off of the nutrition charts because they figured people got enough vitamin C and A. So thank you, government. Now, I'm not advocating for them changing it back and putting it on, even though there's scurvy and doctors across Canada are told to watch out for scurvy, because every time I have to get new printing plates for my bag manufacturing, and of course, government will just cost me more money. Well, we changed the rules again, so I need to buy thousands of dollars for printing plates, which then makes my costs go up and then makes food more expensive for everyone. So thanks, government, once again. Again, I'm going to get personal here, and I'm trying not to pitch this. I approached the most northern grocery stores in Canada about this years ago and almost got it in. Now, what it is freeze-dried, so no refrigeration. It can even freeze. This is a half a pound of fruit, freeze-dried and powdered. I can ship this in a letter. I can get this up to northern communities to get them all of their healthy food for almost like pretty much the same price as anywhere else in Canada, because I designed 95% shipping reduction, no spoilage, get people fresh food. I approached the grocery stores, couldn't make a deal for, quote, healthy food is a tough sale for us. Government grants go against my thing because I don't believe in stealing taxpayer money or creating inflation to get free money from the government to do anything. So grants, no, but even financing. I went to Business Development Canada with a 20-page business plan explaining food insecurity, inflation, how all that works, how it's a low-risk product. It doesn't spoil literally ever. It's got a 25-year best before date. And I explained this with prototypes, with the market, with everything, with my total cost, suppliers lined up. And the lady at Business Development Bank Canada said to my face, "It's too bad you're not a woman or a Native American. There's some financing options that would have been available for you." Okay? So I live in a really screwed up country, man. Socialism and wokeism and all this. They don't want equal opportunity. They want equality of outcome. So because literally my genitals and skin color, couldn't get financing. So I had to struggle, and I did this myself. Okay, that's just one thing I did. Government grants. So there's been grants for greenhouses that don't work in Canada to the tune of $250,000 per greenhouse. And again, these greenhouses don't work. One in particular was a northern community got a $250,000 government grant. The first winter, because first of all, it's an improperly designed and built greenhouse. It's like a glorified hoop house. And then nobody had the thought process to shovel snow off. And I guess it collapsed the first year. So $250,000 of taxpayer money or inflation gone, right? Again, I try not to be insensitive, but literally this is the things that I've done over the past 10 years because I know what's coming, like people starving to death and an ancient disease called scurvy that shouldn't be happening. It's because of no other reason than stupid people voting for stupid people with stupid fucking ideas. So it is what it is. I mean, there's nothing else I could do. So I don't know how rich you guys think I am. I'm an entrepreneur in Canada. I get bent over every different which way. And what I do is I try to sell things for the cheapest possible price. So I keep my costs down to bare minimum and I handle everything myself. So my smoothies are real fruit. It's better than fresh in Canada. People can't afford to eat food in Canada, right? I think in not even a very northern community, but grapes are like $20 a case.
So $11 for raspberries and grapes pushing $20.
If you want a smoothie at the grocery store, pre-made smoothie that has to be refrigerated, they're literally twice as much as ours. My form of donating things is selling things for the cheapest price because I don't have to get super rich, but we figured out production and things. So I can sell these myself the way I set things up for as cheap as I possibly can to try to help people out, even with rising costs. I shared all this for free. How to do the greenhouse. Look at a deep winter. I grow bananas and citrus fruits and things in here. And it's for free. Now, some people have taken advantage of some of my ideas and some of my plans, and it's nothing special. It's just I designed it with the sun angle, super insulated, a little bit of the design, and for not much cost, I can grow fruits. Are there any government grants available for Dean? No. And you know what? I came to this conclusion about government grants. It's that, well, government doesn't work, so why would a grant go to a project that works? So government would give money to projects that don't work because government itself doesn't work. Anyways, that's my theory on that. And of course, you know, I would like to live in a world someday where things are back to morals and merits. You know, Canada, we are not racist or sexist, but in order to get financing, not even a grant, but actually to be able to borrow money, we're not racist or sexist. That's why we're going to base it on race and sex. Okay, this is the country that I live in. What the happened? So, I mean, my sympathy is not very much because I've been telling people prior to YouTube in many different ways, nobody listens. So I go and do my own thing. So I'm fully protected and I can see the future is going to be significantly worse. Nothing's going to get better. In order to go back to capitalism and like create manufacturing and farms and get government out of the way, you can't even fix it. Because once the socialism's in there and everybody's reliant on social assistance, and to me, a government job is like social assistance too. How bad is it in Canada? Let's see. I worked for a small construction company where I learned all the, skills of the trade back in the day, and that was the best thing I ever did. Everyone that I ever worked with, every coworker I ever had, and almost everyone I know has a government job. They went to be a carpenter for the government, a maintenance person for the government, parks person for the government. They can't make it in the free market in this system. And why would you try? I mean, you get paid 30% more to work at the government and you don't necessarily have to work. You can't get fired. The benefits are better and the pension's better. And you get lots of days off, right? Nobody has to work. Well, this is what happens. 1 in 10 people using food banks in Canada's biggest city, kids starving, and people's teeth falling out from scurvy. And the answer is, of course, more socialism and less capitalism. Okay. We'll see how this goes. This is just the beginning. Unfortunately, there's some other news. Our main small farm store, I would say, called Peavy Mart, is closing all locations all across Canada. Now, I'm just going to speculate, but bad economic times, I don't know for sure. Maybe it's some internal company issue or something like that, but closing all doors. So a lot of towns and smaller centers had a Peavy Mart, and that's where they bought their chicken feed, some chicken supplies, your dog foods, all this small farm and homesteading equipment. That's gone now. So it's even harder to get set up. We don't have that option. And this country's just going to complete crap. Why are the groceries so expensive? I wonder. It's called inflation. Inflation is government prints a whole bunch of money and gives it out in the form of socialist assistance and literally destroyed all businesses in Canada. 5% of businesses went bankrupt in Canada last year. Okay? So if you think things are bad now, they're going to get worse. Now, they call it preparedness. So as a prepper, I just call myself a logical thinking human, but anyways, everyone was a prepper back in the day. What is being a prepper? Okay, so you can see the writing on the wall, me 10 years ago or more. So I'm out of the city. I'm done. Property tax too high. Rental properties, it's just shit. Can't afford insurance. You get stuff stolen so much. Got out of that. Bought bare land for cash. Kind of punched my way, built everything over 10 years. And have kind of a working homestead that's just getting into a very productive phase of things after I built the infrastructure. Take my sweet time doing that. Started this business, invented this product from scratch, brought it to market, figured out all the suppliers, brought it to market for the cheapest possible price and the highest possible quality to try to help as many people as it possibly could. Preparedness is what you do when something's coming, before something happens. Now that we're super high inflation, everybody's closing businesses, total economic collapse, dumpster fire that it is, it's kind of hard for people to prepare now to put these aside. Now, inflation's going to get much, much worse, and this is going to get much more expensive, so it's still a good investment. But I am trying to market these for the daily user. So it's not just freeze-dried food you put in your bunker and you don't eat it. You eat it on a daily basis to stay healthy and save money because it's cheaper and better than groceries at the grocery store. Go down this rabbit hole of an economic system. This is what happens. And I don't know what else I can say about that. But I'm gonna give people this option in case you want to donate to a charity. On our website, we're gonna have a donation button, so you can donate any smoothie or any amount of smoothies that you want. And if you want to donate to charity, you can buy a smoothie at our low price, and we will get 100% of that without me having expensive lunch meetings every day to talk about how good I feel and how charitable I am. $0 goes to me doing this, but you can buy a smoothie. We will get it to the food bank 100%. So when you donate to this charity, this is a smoothie that fixes scurvy, fixes health problems, fixes obesity, fixes the food insecurity issues. 100% of this is going to the food bank. So if you donate money to a food bank, it's going to go to the managers of the food bank, and they're going to have really expensive meals to talk about how good that they feel, and then a small percentage of things, of the money that's donated, actually goes to charity. This goes into somebody's stomach to fix the problem. So 100% goes to charity, and that'll be available on the website if you happen to be in the donation mindset or charity mindset. And yeah, so, and again, instead of me doubling my price and then being all, look at me, I'm a philanthropist, I'm going to donate money. It's like, no, I'm a capitalist. I sell this the cheapest possible price, and I should triple the price. And then I'd have a bunch of money, and then I can donate money. But instead, you can donate a smoothie if you want. And of course, we offer membership wholesale prices, so you can get them even cheaper on the website if you want them for yourself, or if you want to donate them to your local food bank. You can buy it, get it, and then give it to your food bank. So at least what you're donating to charity can't be adulterated by governments or the charitable organization that wastes and wastes and wastes. Because this is real, and it goes 100% to somebody's tummy. Stay prepared, or is it too late to stay prepared? What's your economic situation? Are you making a whole bunch of of money or something, or you have the means to prepare, I'm kind of curious. Or are you hurting big time like the majority of Canadians? Like 1 in 10 people in the biggest, supposedly most prosperous Visit Toronto, Canada city. Yeah. So, whatever. It is what it is. And it's going to get worse, just so you know. So, do the best you can at this point. Okay, bye. Hi there. I'm Dean with Arcopia. Did you know that Canadians are suffering greatly at the hands of their government? In the biggest city in Canada, Toronto, 1 in 10 people are surviving using food banks, and 1/4 of those are children under the age of 18. Doctors across Canada are also told to watch out for scurvy, because scurvy is prevalent, which is a vitamin C deficiency. Now, our governments also took vitamin C off mandatory nutrition charts, which makes a whole lot of sense considering doctors are told to watch out for scurvy. Each Arcopia smoothie is 100% of your daily vitamin C and the absolute minimum that you need to prevent scurvy. So if you're one of the few people that hasn't been destroyed by government and you donate to charities, consider donating a smoothie where 100% of the proceeds goes to feed somebody's tummy that's in need, as opposed to donating to any other charity in the form of money, where the non-profit organizers have really expensive meals talking about how good they are running a non-profit, and a small percentage goes to help the actual cause that you're donating to. So at arcopia.ca, you can donate a smoothie. 100% of the proceeds, the actual smoothie, goes to a Canadian food bank where they can't adulter the donation, and it has to go to somebody in need. You can also take advantage of our membership pricing. Order smoothies, we'll send them to you, and you can give them to your local food bank if that's something you're interested in. Now, maybe you realize that there is consequences for actions, and many of these people voted for governments and they voted for free stuff and they really voted for inflation, but it's a completely voluntary act if you want to donate them a smoothie so they don't die. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.